Hello, everybody. It's your host, Dr. Giggles in the house. Anyway, so tonight we have a really damn good show for everybody. We're going to talk about Dollywood's 30th season kickoff. We're going to talk about all the stuff that went down. We're going to talk all about what everybody really probably wants to hear about right now, Fury325, but it's 325, whatever you want to call it. We're also going to talk about CoasterCon because the flyer came out. We'll talk about upcoming events, a little tidbit of news, and anything else in between. So make sure you leave all your comments and stuff about that. We have little tidbits about Wicked Cyclone, and it should be a pretty damn good show. I did finally get some sleep, though. From leaving Carowinds just to get to Tony and May's house, it was a 10.5-hour ride. We stopped to eat, so it took longer than that. I decided to drive straight to work instead of going home. I didn't get to work till about 5:30 this morning, and then I left work very early and slept for maybe 5 hours or so. And I'm here, alive. I didn't know if I was going to make the show. I thought I was really going to be passed out and miss it, and everybody's going, "Where's the show?" I didn't want to miss the show. So I'm here. I'm here, and I'm ready to rock. Yeah, I agree with you on this Coaster Kev. People talk about the ride and don't go. Usually my job here is to, at least I can say I went, so that's good. But a lot of times people talk about it and don't go, and it kind of, you're not going to get a true feeling, a true meaning, because basically someone that doesn't go that's going to talk about, we'll use Fury as the example. I know there was people that didn't go and they're talking about it. And they talk about it like they went, but they're just going based off of people's opinions. That's why if you notice, I very rarely talk about stuff that I don't go to. I might hype it up, an event or a ride a little bit, just because that's what people want to talk about. But for me, you'll notice I hype up things that I've actually been to. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to kiss anybody's butt. If I like it, I'm going to tell you I like it or I love it. If I don't like it, I'm going to say why I don't like it. I'm going to tell you I don't like it and why. I'm not going to bash it like I used to back in the day, but I'm gonna give you honest opinions on everything. I'm not going to kiss anybody. I gain nothing out of kissing anybody's butt, and I feel it's not being real with people. So, there may be a chance that I can do Tempesto's Media Day. It's a possibility. I don't know. I'm hoping. We'll see what happens. It most likely may not happen because that's Knobel's opening weekend. So I'm going to go ride Impulse so that I can talk about that. But yeah, I will ride Tempesto when I go in June. I'll ride it then, and then I'll talk about it then. Bush go. Oh, so Don, you went to Bush. You went to Bushy Bush. So yeah, I'm going to pull up my news. Let's get that out of the way, and then we'll get into all the fun stuff. I did not put together any video or anything just because I didn't have time, and I came home very early this morning, and I slept, so I didn't have time. I'll probably put up a little something, and I'll just put it up. And for those that didn't go to East Nor'easter, the videos are on this YouTube page. If you haven't seen, if you want to see the presentations, or if you want to see the Six Flags New England I Want a Golden Ticket song and dance routine, that's up. So for those that want to see that stuff, it's there. So Wicked Cyclone Media Day will be the 14th of May. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about Media Day per se. Well, to an extent. I mean, that's part of what we're going to talk about. Because, well, you know what? Let's get into that. We'll start with the Wicked Cyclone stuff that That I know off the top of my head. For the POV for Fury, I did not get a chance to do a POV, and I'm going to tell you why. The POV was only allowed for working media, like radio stations, people that signed up as media. I did not go as media. I went as a +1 of an ACE member that was invited. So that's how I got into Fury. I wasn't on the media list, but I did take plenty of pictures. I took some video of the ride. I'm going to put that together tomorrow, and all that stuff. So, it's one of those, I really wish I could have. You had to have a special badge for the media to get the POV. Even though Russ, they were also pulling other people to do on-ride POVs. So you had to be either media or be lucky enough to get pulled by whomever to do the POV. And then they'd give you a copy of it. Because Russ, the Ace Rep the New England Ace Rep, posted the video this morning of it. So, but, anyway, so what we have for Wicked Cyclone news that I can talk about is they unveiled to the media about the theming. They showed the van, they showed the boat, and they showed the train. They unveiled it to the news and all that stuff. I mean, we already knew all that, so that's nothing new, but we did finally, it's all over the internet. We did get to see the photo of what was unveiled. And there's video for it. So what we need, so you can get an idea of what the van and the boat are going to look like. Now, we all know what the train looks like, especially if you saw the pictures being posted from Nor'easter. You've seen those pictures of the train. Yeah, so if you went to the tour, you've seen the train. We didn't see the van and the boat. They talked about the van and the boat. Now, the ride, I don't know about I don't know where, Kanatska Coast to Pole, I don't know where you heard the date for Media Day being May 14th. Based on the article, when they talk to the media, it's on track for Memorial Day opening. So usually it happens the Thursday before Memorial Day. Usually that's how it works. I don't know. POVs, generally, when you go to a media day, how they used to work, if you were... One, you have to get permission from the park, and they don't always grant it. Usually they're only doing POVs for media to show the ride. People that have fan sites, TV, radio, stuff like that, they allow them to take the POVs. Because those are now, this is how Media Day works. Media Day is not an event where you technically get an ERT session. A lot of people have a misconception of this. They think that, for a lot of times, you're going to get a lot of the media days I went to, you could marathon coasters. It depended upon what it was. Bizarro, you could have sat on that thing from all morning until 6 o'clock at night. Goliath, you got a lot of rides in. The problem being is a lot of people go, oh, I want rides, I want to ride, I want to ride, I want to ride, I want to ride. Now think about this for a second. A lot of people, a lot of newbies to coaster groups and this, a lot of people, they found SFNE online and now they want to get in on Media Day. This is how Media Day works. It is for media. Whether you're a recognized fan site or a blogger or radio station, TV, etc., stuff like that. Now, when it comes to people riding like myself, ACE members and other coaster crew or TPR or whoever, what happens is it's all about them getting the word out to hype up the ride. That's where you're going to get your opinions, where people are spreading, hey, is this ride good? Is this ride bad? So when it's going to come to Wicked Cyclone Media Day, it's really, you're filling in the seat so the media can film it. They can interview people. It also helps, hype up the ride. It's not an event where you're going to get, the meal and the Q&A. Well, it kind of is. And then the ERT. This really isn't an ERT session. And I know a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to get in and this and that, la, 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 la. What happens a lot during media days, trains get held up because they're fixing cameras on the rides for different, media outlets. And sometimes you just can't ride. You know, sometimes they just say, hey, keep the train going, or you know, it depends on what it is. So for those thinking of one thing or another, now I don't know exactly how Media Day will run this year. It's going to be different, I believe. Yeah, you know, it all depends. One, it also depends on the crowds. If there's a lot of people, you're not going to get as many rides as, say, you know, if there was a less crowd. You know, they're going to have food, they're going to have entertainment, they're going to have, you know, you're going to be able to ride Wicked Cyclone, you're going to have a ball, you're going to have a ton of fun. It doesn't matter what media day it is. I go to every media day, except I didn't go last year because of SpringCon. Shame on me, but you know. So keep that in mind. Not everybody that watches the show is going to be invited. That's why it's always a good thing to join a coaster club that is invited. You know, and plus, join a coaster club gets you more. You get to travel. You get to make friends. You get to go to different parks. You get to have events. You get to see things and ride rides you never once thought you were going to ride. You know, it's always good to join a club, regardless, even more than just a media day, just to ride Wicked Cyclone. But that's all the only news I have for that. I don't know the media day yet. I should find out soon when the media day is. But I'm just letting everybody know that don't just assume that you're going to get into media day, because the way media day works also is if I can't invite you in, and you're not a member of a coaster group, you better, and you really want to go, you better find someone that's a member and has an open slot, because they usually can only take like one guest. Usually it's like one guest you can take. So keep that in mind. And everybody and their mother in this area that's going to go, spots are going to fill up fast. I don't know the amount of people that they're going to take in for the media day. Could be 1,000, could be 100. I don't know. Well, would it be worth for your son to go? Well, it depends if it's worth for your son to go. Is your son tall enough to ride it? Because if he's under 48 inches, then no, it's not worth him going. If he's over 48 inches tall, then by all means, it's worth him to go. You know, I don't know. Sometimes they open up other rides as well, and they probably will, to kind of offset the line a little bit. Because people are going to want to ride other stuff. If they're going to open that, you're probably going to see Pandemonium and the Scrambler open, and probably, depending upon how nice this Baby Blizzard River, I don't know. But keep that in mind when thinking about, you know, who you want to take. Is it worth it? Etc., etc. All right, where's my notes? Here's my notes. All right, so let's start out with some other news, too, besides Wicked Cyclone. Seaside Heights. Now, I experienced Seaside Heights for the first time last year. If you don't remember, that was part of the piers down during Hurricane Sandy, where the roller coaster plopped itself inside the ocean. We talked about this a few times. There's a permit now for them to expand the pier. They don't want to expand it over the water. It's going to cost double, triple the amount. But the only reason why I'm mentioning this is on the permit, and there's open discussions, you know, with the city and stuff, you know, for residents. But the reason why I say this is when they build that pier, and it's saying roughly on the permit $3.5 million it'll cost to build it. But the reason why I say it is on the permit, it also states they want to put a roller coaster in and a Ferris wheel. So they're going to be expanding the north side. Now I don't know how many of you have been to Seaside Heights. It's a nice little park on a pier. They have some nice rides. I really like the place. It's not gigantic by any means, but it's a nice little place to ride some cool rides. They ride the rides like you wish parks would run the rides. You know, it's not a heavily busy, well, when I went, it wasn't heavily busy, so you were getting really good ride cycles out of everything. So I'm looking forward to see what coaster that they put in the future. So they're just waiting for the permit to go, after the town says yes or no, because they're going to, expand on the beach and people are going to be up in an uproar about it. But in return, by them building on it, the town takes over the carousel and some parking lots, some empty areas for parking lots from Seaside Heights. So there's more parking for, the people. So I'm hoping that they add something pretty decent. I mean, they have a pretty good selection of rides. I really liked it. And then, that's part of, the aftercon of the day after con. There's Seaside Screams there, which I'm sure I'm probably going to be going to it. It's just a nice place to go. I like it. I think you guys might like it. I don't know. When I went, I really, really liked the place. See, I love these little seaside parks and stuff like Maury's, Seaside, stuff like that. Seaside Heights. It's they got this weird charm to them that you don't find at other amusement parks. You're gonna have your typical amusement park, but you're also with the seaside ones. You get the view of the ocean, you get the sea air. It's nice, and then if you want to take a break from riding, go in the ocean and stuff like that. It's just a nice all around great atmosphere. Well, yeah, it looks dumpy, but I'm sure over time, especially after that fire destroyed a lot. And now they're rebuilding, which is good. New boardwalk. They're building up the area again. So the things that were dumpy are becoming less dumpy. I mean, when you think about the area and all that, how it once was and how, it's like a new beginning. It's like having a clean slate. They have a chance because they know it's a tourist destination. People want to go. So at the end of the day, granted, I agree with you. It looks dumpy. But they're building it up. They're building it up. And it's. I mean, I've seen pictures of how it was before the hurricane and before the fire. And if you compare it to then to now, it's starting to look better. They had the fire. Things got burnt up. The hurricane destroyed a lot of stuff. So now they have a chance to, it's a chance for redemption, a chance for them to be able to go, hey, you know what? We can now rebuild. We can now make it better than what it was. I mean, if you look at Maury's Pier isn't all glamorous and beautiful, but it's unique. And that's what I like about it. I like the little parks more over so than the big ones. I mean, I've said this a million times to everybody. When you go verse little park to big park, usually the big parks are big corporate entities. Six Flags, Cedar Fair Parks, Busch Gardens, SeaWorlds, Disney's, et cetera, et cetera. The list goes on and on. But when you have something that's small and unique, that's not, for the most part, it's family run, and operated. And they know it's a bit more of a struggle because if you got a thing like Seaside Heights and you can go an hour and a half up or 45 minutes or whatever to Six Flags, a lot more people are going to go to Six Flags than Seaside Heights. But for me, I love the little parks. The food's cheap. The prices are cheaper. I don't feel like I'm being nickeled and dimed. I don't feel the pressure of being rushed around because, a lot of these parks are so big and, it's all about the money. And I get it. They're there to make money. They're not there for the hell of it. They're there to make money. So, but I feel with the smaller parks, you have more of a charm. Once they become a corporate park, if you had a little park and then, they stop building it up and then the corporate theme takes over and sucks it in, and it does take away a lot of the charm. I mean, if you compare Riverside days to Six Flags New England days, you can feel the corporate feel in that park. It's slow. The charm is slowly being eaten up. Now I know times change. You always can't keep that old classic charm, even though it's a good thing and a bad thing doing it. It all depends on how you feel about it. Now I know as times go on, they're going to update things. They're not going to have that classic look anymore. And you know what? It's a losing battle. You're never going to win that battle. So I try to embrace it as much. I've told people that work at corporate parks, look, I'm going to support your park, but I don't always necessarily agree with the corporate way of things being done. I don't sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell a park when it does something wrong. And I'm not going to be one of those cop-outs and just tell you when it's wrong. I'm going to tell you when you're doing a good job as well. I will say that about everything. And when I talk about Fury, I'm going to tell you the good things what they did right, and I'm going to tell you the things they did wrong. You know, I'm going to tell you, you know, that's just how I am. I don't sugarcoat it for nothing. You can do lake compounds in a day. You really, and you can get multiple rides for lake compounds, even on a busy day. A busy day, they're running 2 trains on Boulder Dash. It looks like a really long line, maybe 20 minutes, half hour, tops of wait with 2 trains. Now, if you get that long wait with 1 train, then it's probably like 45 minutes an hour with 1 train operation. And that does happen sometimes. But you can easily do lake compounds in a day. No problem. I mean, if you want to do the camping and cabin thing, then take a couple days. You know, but realistically, even without an event, you can do compounds in a day and ride everything and enjoy it or hate it. You know, depends upon your opinion. You know, they have some good rides. They have some crappy rides. You know, rides that I'm not total fans of. You might like them, but maybe I don't. Or rides you like, I may not like. You know, Wildcat has gotten better from all the retracking. You know, it used to be a big mess. It hurt. It was not a re-rideable ride. And if you talk to Jerry Brick, he'll even admit that to you. You know, he'll be like, it wasn't a re-rideable ride. Now it is. And then probably over the next couple of years, they're going to have new trains on it, which should be good. Good. Yeah. Lake Compounds is still a growing park. It still has a ways to go before you may need that second day. I mean, they got land for that to happen. It's just, you know, as they build up things. This year they're adding the dinosaurs and they're adding more stuff to the campground. You know, so next year something else will come in. You know, they don't have the money, you know, like Cedar Fair or Six Flags just dump 10, 15, $20 million ride in there. Well, they don't really either, but that's besides the point. Yeah, I agree with you, Don, on that. You really need, you could do like a half a day at Quasi and do a half a day at Compounds, really. But I mean, if you're just going to soak up Compounds, I mean, you could do it. You could spend half the day in the water park and then but you want to make sure that you hit the rides before the water park lets out. Because once the water park lets out, that's when the lines become longer. Just my 2 cents. They do not have Flash Pass. All right, the next tidbit. 2 spots about Universal Studios down in Florida. They are now putting metal detectors. I'm sure you guys all heard about this. They're putting metal detectors out front of the roller coaster, so there is no loose items in your pocket. They must have been besides the Dueling Dragons accident, when something flew off and hit somebody, when they stopped dueling and all that, something has had to happen after that fact for them to be making a big stink about loose items. I mean, knock on wood, I've never had anything fall out of my pockets while riding. I've never had anything fly out of my pocket while I've been riding. So, knock on wood, that's never happened. They must have been having stuff flying off all the time or something. I don't know. So now they got metal detectors out in front of before you get into the ride. No loose articles allowed. The next tidbit, too, is, I'm sure we all heard it, and the media's blown it way out of proportion, that the Hulk valleyed the other day. Now, it got stuck between the block brake and the station. There was a glitch, and it stopped it, and whatever. So that's what happened with that. It didn't get stuck upside down. Nobody died. Nobody got hurt. It just stopped and valleyed and didn't make it to the station. It's back open already. No big deal. You know, the media loves to blow these things out of proportion. That's what makes, when, during Nor'easter, when Frank did a safety presentation, the media loves to blow it out of proportion because accidents don't really happen on rides. You know, that's a big media spectacle because they just don't happen. You know, they want the ratings. So what happens when something happens? You see what happens when rides get stuck. Somebody gets killed. Somebody gets hurt. It's big news because it doesn't really happen. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. You know, it's all good now. Well, I'm hoping they're axed because it's going to create. Here's the problem with the metal detectors. It's going to turn people off from riding it because nobody really wants to put their stuff in a locker. Number one, you know, people want to keep their wallet and their phone on them at all times. You're sitting in a line. What if the line's 2 hours and I can't sit in a line with my phone to talk to people for 2 hours? I'm going to go out of my mind. So I'm hoping that they're axed. I mean, yeah, they're testing, they're doing whatever. It's just one of those crazy things that, hey, this is what happens. But I'm just wondering what caused even the thought and the testing of this. That's what I want to know. What possessed them to want to do that? And I don't know the answer to that. You know, I don't pretend to know everything, but when I know something, I know it. But I just would love to know what caused them to want to do that in the first place. We'll never. Well, somebody might. Somebody has to know the answer. I don't know the answer. We saw at Six Flags Great Adventure, Batman will now be running backwards from July 4th to Labor Day. Unfortunately for us Coast to Con people, we will not get to ride it backwards. It's not even going to be open. And that kind of sucks. But there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, what are we going to get mad about? It's not going to, us getting mad about it isn't going to change anything. It's not going to make it happen faster. So, yeah, that's, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, Batman backwards. So, just letting you know, if you want to ride Batman backwards, July 4th to Labor Day. Busch Garden, we talked about it. Busch Gardens finally officially announced Tempesto. It opens April 25th. And it's also a couple things to note. It has the 3 cars on the train instead of the usual 2. Because they did talk back and forth about adding another load station. Probably similar to Mr. Freeze in Texas and St. Louis. Have it move side to side so one can load, one can unload. But they felt by adding the extra car to the train was a better move because realistically, the ride calls for 700 riders per hour. They said realistically they're probably going to get 600. It will not be on the quick queue, so no skipping the line. So if you're looking to ride it, you should probably go to Ace Dives. We'll talk about that event because the flyer finally came out. Lots of flyers coming out. All right, that's all the news I had. Woohoo! All right, so let's talk Dollywood 30th anniversary opening. I have never been to a Dollywood opening weekend. So when Tony and May and Luco were like, "Hey, we're going to Dollywood opening." So hey, and so we went down and we stayed in a nice cabin, Dave and Jody's cabin. They invited us to stay there. You know, check it out. Awesome. If you ever need to rent an awesome cabin, you should definitely check it out. Clouds in the Mountains cabin. It's a beautiful cabin. The view is amazing of the Smoky Mountains. Every morning I would go outside. You know, before we'd go out, I'd go sit on the chair outside. I'd go smoke a cigarette, and then I would just take in the view. Beautiful view. I was like, damn. Well, except for the days that it was really, really foggy there, but it was an amazing view. It was amazing. It's definitely one of those, you know, you wish you could look at that view every day kind of thing. It was definitely a beautiful view. But anyway, so we got there Thursday night because we wanted to go to Season Pass Preview Day. So Thursday night, what did we do on Thursday night? I think we got, oh yeah, we went to Old Smoky down by the island, got some moonshine to take back. We went to the Apple Barn and had dinner. Uh, and then, we went back to the cabin. So that's not really the total kickoff. So we go Friday. We got there, and it was mobbed. It was pretty busy for, a preview day. But again, it's also, not only is it opening weekend, but Dolly Partner's there. It was kind of, rainy on and off and stuff like that. So, but the shows, I didn't get, the line cut off. I couldn't get in the show. Tony and May did, but me, Dave, Jody, and Griswold, and we went to, and Alex, we went to eat at the Aunt Granny's or something like that buffet. It was pretty good. And then we caught up with Tony May after, we rode the rides all day and night. It was great. They did cancel the parade that they were doing with Dolly in it because of the rain. They ended up doing it the next day on Saturday. So, Luke goes there and, we're all going crazy, having fun. The lines for the shows were ridiculous all weekend long. I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, the lines from Celebrity Hall went down the hill, wrapped up around. It was like by the Tennessee Tornado, and then started wrapping back around. That was like that everywhere. Everywhere there was a show, it was huge lines because you didn't know when Dolly was gonna pop her head in and talk or sing or make an appearance at. So we opted not to do the shows. Luco did catch one on Monday though. We didn't. But the beautiful thing that did happen on Saturday, actually it was the first thing that happened. Tony did propose to May at the Rock and Roadway or Raceway or whatever it is, over by the 2016 project, might I add. But he did propose. She did say yes. And she finally got that ring since I've been hanging with him, hearing all the time, when am I going to get my ring? When am I going to get my ring? Ring, 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 ring. She kind of sounded like a telephone going off. Ring, 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 ring. Or maybe a bicycle bell. But in any case, the funny thing is I said, hey, when are you guys going to get married? Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. We just got engaged. But if you wanted to be engaged that bad, you should have a date in mind. Even though we did keep lots of secrets. Even though she is a snoop and she should work for the NSA or the FBI or something. She kind of knew something was up, but didn't totally know what was up. She just couldn't accept something exciting and great and had to kind of almost ruin it for herself. So we got to witness that happen. But yeah, I mean, with all that, it was definitely great. We did. Was it Saturday night or Sunday? No, Sunday that we did Dixie Stampede. We did try it out, the new show with all the new effects and stuff. And I will say, it's a lot better. Even underneath the tables that you're eating at, they now vibrate. I've never noticed them vibrate before. The sound system's amazing. They enhanced a lot. I mean, a lot of the show is the same, but there are different things to it. I actually can't wait to see what they do with Christmas with all the new stuff. I love Dixie Stampede. I could go every time I went. I know some people can't, but I really could. The food is great. I'm always entertained. I love it. And I love both the Christmas and the non-Christmas. The non-Christmas one, I love the buffalo scene with the Indians and all that. And the song that Dolly sings is awesome. It's a great show. And then I love all the audience participation with it. It's great. It's a great, it's a great venue. So, but then the other things that we did do besides Dollywood, overall it was great. Dollywood was great. It was great getting back into riding things. But also we did the extreme go-karts down the road, the 30, 40 mile an hour cars. We did Goats on the Roof Mountain Coaster, which is really good. I just don't like how it brakes a lot with the regulators on it. But it does whip you around the corners really good. It's definitely something to check out if you like mountain coasters. We also did check out Cooters in Gatlinburg, the Dukes of Hazzard themed indoor go-kart track with the store, and then they had memorabilia. I was like, when I was a kid, Dukes of Hazzard was my thing. That was on the air. I was loving Dukes of Hazzard back then. I had Dukes of Hazzard birthday cakes. I had toys and all that. I love Dukes of Hazzard, so being there was great. The indoor track is small, but you can really, if you slam on a brake around the corners, you can really drift those cars. And, you know, they don't get mad at you when you bump all the cars. They're just like, hey, whatever, go do your thing. You know, I bought a hat and a shirt and some signs. I loved it. I took a picture. I posted it. I don't know if anybody's seen it. Me sitting inside the General Lee. May was behind me. Tony and Luco were on the sides. I really loved it. So that was good. What else did we do? Oh, we had a baby shower, surprise baby shower. We tried to for Jody and Dave, but people showed up late. But surprise didn't go off as well because we turned off all the lights, and we were the only ones there when they came back at the time. And we yelled surprise, and she's like, "Yeah, no, you know, no kidding. Your car's there. I know you're there." So it was kind of funny, but it was fun. All right. So all in all, it was awesome. If you've never been to Dollywood, try to get your butt out there. The Ripley's, believe it or not, haunted house is pretty good. We did. Free moonshine taste. You can get drunk for free if you're 21. There's 4 places to do it at. Very yummy stuff. Matter of fact, I had some French toast tonight. Had a couple shots of that tonight. Very good. So if you've never been to Dollywood, check it out. It's awesome. You know, check out the Dixie Stampede. Check out the mountain coasters. Check out the stuff on the strip. You know, the kiddie coasters and the go-karts and all the different fun haunted houses and mirror mazes. There's so much to do. You need you need a few days to try to take everything in, and you're going to spend a lot of money, too. That's for damn sure. Engagement ring, wedding ring, and suffering. Yeah. So I'm glad that. Speaking of the engagement, I'm glad that they wanted to include me in that because a lot of being included to be there. That's actually a special moment. That's not. I mean, you don't care who's there, but you really want your friends, family there for that moment. It's just I really feel honored that. That they felt I was worthy enough to be there. You know what I mean? I really didn't know too much about it. It was kept secret from me for a while. I mean, I kind of knew about it, but I didn't know when it was happening exactly. But then Tony told me. And the thing that I was really honored about, and it was scary, that when I arrived at Tony and May's house, I was secretly given the ring when May went to bed. So I held on to this ring the whole trip. Oh, I had it hidden. And I kept checking any time I was near there to make sure I didn't lose the ring. God forbid I would have lost that ring. I would have probably killed myself. But if it really felt really good to be entrusted from somebody for me to hold the ring for somebody. To me, that was special for me. I held the ring. I hid the ring. I was in on it. And then that Saturday, we had to plan it so that May didn't know I had the ring and then get it to Tony. It was, a little Black Ops kind of, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. Hang on a second, kind of thing. It was good. It was cool. All right, so now that I've given you my Dollywood spiel and told you all the fun that I had, now the main reason why everybody gives a crap and watching this show today is Fury325. I'm calling it 325. That's what I want to call it. I'm sorry if it offends you and it's not the proper name, but I'm calling it Fury325. Now, let's start off with, before I get into that, on the way to Fury, the day before, we went to the Biltmore Estates, the Vanderbilt family thing out in North Carolina somewhere. Big mansion, crazy house from way back in a million years ago. I guess people wanted some culture. I'm not big into culture. It was cool. Wish you could have seen more. Some of the house you can't. But anyways, let's get into Fury. There was your culture for the day. I told you about Biltmore Estates. I don't know if you guys are into that anyway. But it was something to see, something expensive, and kind of cool in a way. Anyway, so Fury325. They start the day, we were there probably a little over an hour before we could actually ride it. We got there for 10 o'clock-ish, a little bit before. And you go, I don't know, I think I might have left my badge in, what do you call it? Tony's car, I think. I don't know, I think I did though. Oh well. If they have it, I'll get it from them. Regardless, so we get there, they rolled out the red carpet, they had Linus out front, they had like a marching drum band there playing, they had another band playing. As you walk, they had signs with all the statistics for that ride. There's a sign, 81-degree drop, blah, 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 and then how many feet is the track, how fast it goes, as you're walking to the ride. They also had Intimidator open, they had Slingshot open, and they had a meal at the Harmony Hall. Now before that, and I think this is probably going to sound crazy, but the most memorable moments that I had at Media Day happened to be with the Carolina Panthers team mascot. That mascot was hilarious, the stuff he was doing. And then after we had gotten out of the store or off the ride, I was busting his chops, going, "Go Patriots, go Patriots!" And then he grabbed me by my shirt and started yanking me to the ride lockers, and then did the kick like "get out of here." But then he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah," he didn't say nothing, but he did the hug thing, pat me on the back, give me the respect. So it was funny. That was really the most memorable thing for Media Day, which kind of makes it a little scary at that point for me. Now the ride itself, let's get into, they go through the whole spiel, like they do at any Media Day. I don't know how many people have been to a Media Day, but usually they do a ribbon cutting, they have the park president come and they talk, the PR person, they have governors and mayors and, the people who design the ride, and everybody's kissing each other's butts and all that stuff. I mean, personally, I don't give a crap about that kind of stuff. I'll be honest, I really don't care. It does nothing for me. Because I want to ride the ride. I know, like, I videotaped the guy talking and stuff. I had a bad spot. I didn't get up front. But, all the media was crowded up front, so I couldn't really get a good spot. But that stuff, I mean, I understand what it's about. They're giving thanks and praise to each other. You did this and you did that and you did this and you did that. I get it. It's a whole show and, a whole boat and show kind of thing. I get it. Most of the people there are there to ride. They don't care about it. I mean, some people do. I personally don't. But the ride itself, I couldn't find Tony May and Luco. I had no idea where they were. So I got on the ride without them first. I got on the first public train because they had the first 3 trains for the people that bidded. They went to the Cam Newton Foundation. It was like $18,000 that went to, they raised money for his foundation. So I got on the first public train that had nothing to do with bidding or anything out there. Now my first impressions are, it's a great first drop. It's fast. But for me, speed ruins the ride. Me and Luco actually agree on a ride for a change. The speed, I feel, ruins the ride because you can't maneuver the ride so much because of all the G-forces that are involved. There is only 3 pops of air while riding the ride. That's it. I only came out of my seat 3 times, not including the first drop, when sitting in the back seat. If the further up you don't get that. But if you're in I rode the back seat, and you come out of your seat because you're getting whipped over the top, and it banks side to side every once in a while, and then they have the hammerhead element there, the bank turns and all that. It flies over the bridge, it flies under the bridge, and then it has the pops of air at the end. I think, honestly, there's more hype than what the coasters. Now, I know a lot of people's panties got wet over the ride. They're like, oh my God, it's the greatest steel coaster on the planet of the Earth. Now, I can think of way more. Now, and don't take this the wrong way. I am not bashing the ride. I am not saying it's a bad ride. My personal opinion, yeah, it's a good ride. Would I ride it again? Yeah, I would ride it. But it's not my favorite. You know, a lot of people are like, this is the best B&M coaster. No, it is not the best B&M. Right now, my favorite B&M coaster is Banshee. You know, yes, I am fat, so that causes me not to rise out of my seat as much. And there is a lot of floating air involved. I am not a floating air kind of guy. I'm too fat to be floated. You know, I don't float. I sink. So for me, I love elements. I love having helixes and bank turns and spaghetti bowls and mashed potato bowls and all kinds of stuff. Now, maybe my opinion differs from yours. Maybe you'll go, Josh, you're wrong. You are totally dead wrong. You know, there's a lot of hype right now on this ride because of how big and how fast and, you know, people were like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, it's the greatest thing. Not a lot of people, but, you know, a lot of people agree with me and a lot of people don't agree with me. It's kind of a toss-up. You know, everybody, and that's the beauty about everything. I don't want everybody to like what I like, and I don't want everybody to like what you like. You need the difference of opinion. It makes good for discussions, debates. It makes everything more fun because, hey, I like XYZ coaster. You like ABC coaster. There is nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make you a bad person because you don't agree with my opinion. It's my opinion. You know, you have yours, I have mine. My opinion, I am stating that Fury is not the best coaster out there. I'm sorry if you disagree with me, but it is not. And honestly, I think Intimidator is better. There's more airtime in it. You know, I'm an airtime hog. I love flying out of my seat. I like the beatings. I like twists and turns. Crazy. See, the thing is, B&Ms are considered like the Rolls Royce of roller coasters. They last. You know, they're built to last. They're not garbage. The problem with all that is a lot of them are too smooth. Now you're going, what do you mean too smooth? You know, there's not a lot of crazy elements. Most of the rides that have the crazy elements with B&Ms are usually the inverts. They're flipping you around. You're doing loops and all that stuff. I mean, if you look at Batman the Ride at Six Flags New England, I'll use an example, but a flawless B&M. But if you look at that, it's not a very forceful ride. It's just a, you know, flawless coaster. It loops and don't get me wrong, I love the ride. I have fun on it, but it doesn't mean I don't hate the ride. You know, it doesn't mean that I don't like it. It's just my preference for rides. That's why for me, probably it may sound biased because it probably is, but I mean, I haven't ridden Weekend Cyclone. Nobody has. Maybe that one's going to be a hell of a lot better, and I'm expecting it, for me, to be better than Fury. And people go, what are you, out of your mind? And you know what? Probably because I like non-stop action. I don't like breaks in it where you can kind of catch a breath. I want pound for pound to go round for round with the ride all the time. I want to twist and turn and go upside down and go, you know, driving around. And, you know, I want it to be non-stop. I want to come out of my seat. I want to, when I get off, go, wow. You know, like when you rode Superman or Bizarro, when you got off that ride, you know, it was like, wow. You know, it blew, you know, it took my breath away. It was like, wow. You know, that's what I am looking for in a coaster. I was not wow with Fury. Some people must think I'm on crack or something. I didn't get wowed. But it wasn't a bad coaster, though. You know? A lot of people say it's B&M's and Millennium Force. You know, there's not a lot of airtime. You know, it's just, you know, it is what it is. I believe, personally, it is a good coaster. It is worth riding. It is worth riding. But it didn't wow me. So I don't know how you take that when forming your own opinion. You know, for me, honestly, it didn't wow. I wasn't like, wow, I gotta ride this thing 100 times. I could have rode it once and been happy. I would have rather spent my time on I just love Intimidator. I'm sorry, you know, some people may not agree with that, but that's what I like. It's that's why I always love to give my opinion, and I give my honest opinion. I'm not going to go, it was the greatest thing in the world, and I'm trying to get on Carowinds media list and blah blah blah, and I want to kiss their butts so I can get rides and perks and blah blah blah. I am going to tell you what's good about a ride. I'm going to tell you what's bad about a ride. I'm going to tell you, like I just said, not a wow, but it was all right. It was definitely better than Hydra, and I like Hydra. It's definitely better than Nitro. Nitro, to me, is a snooze fest. I love Intimidator. I love coming out of my seat like that. So that's my opinion on Media Day. But anyway, I did get a swag bag that I wanted to show everybody. And I'm not trying to rub it in your face, because the reason why I really wanted to show this bag was I'm hoping Six Flags New England sees this. I really do. The bag has, I don't know if you can see that. It says Fury325 Carowinds. It's got the stats: 95 miles an hour, 6,602 track length, height 325 feet, and angle of descent 81 degrees. Grand opening 2015. All right, so I'm just gonna pull all my stuff out of here. Wait, I think I have my badge in here. I do. This is the Bad Media badge. It says, failed the sting, grand opening, blah, blah, blah. And then it has all the info, opening ceremony and ribbon cutting, the beginning at 11:45, all the attractions, lunch in Harmony Hall, beginning at 12, all the media opportunities, if you want to interview people. And then it says, pick up your Fury 325 gift set. They gave you a little, it looked like a business card. You handed it in, they gave you a bag. And then they had a sticker for your suggested lunchtime. Now the food, I understand why they do the food. We had this discussion in the car. I'm not one for fancy food myself. Fancy food for me does not impress me at all. I know what impresses the media. Media are always in it for the food. They want, not only are they going to cover it, but they want something in return besides the ride. They want to have the food. They want to enjoy the food. I did take a picture and post it on SFNE Online's Facebook. You can see it. There was all kinds of weird food that I would, I can't eat anything that's shellfish. I'm allergic to it. I can't eat it. So I can't eat shrimp. I can't eat cold hogs and clams and stuff like that. I can't eat any of it. Lobster, nothing. I can't eat it. They had some good, they had like garlic knots. They had like these little grilled cheeses with like turkey in them. They had mushroom stuffed raviolis. They had some weird bun and meat sandwich that kind of sucked. They had ice cream and sherbet based off of Fury colors that were it was pretty good. They had lunch meats you could have. They had, I can't remember everything that there was. Oh, they had these little munchkins that were really good. It's, the food was all right. I'd be happy with hamburgers and cheeseburgers and macaroni and cheese or something. For me, to impress me, I just want food. I don't want fancy stuff. I know a lot of people love the fancy stuff, but I'm not a fancy kind of guy. I'm fat. I want to eat. And I felt like I was starving myself because I didn't really eat. I ate, but not enough to fill me up. I was still hungry after. Because I didn't want to get all full and bloated and all that stuff. And, that kind of food is not for me. To me, the way that they cook it and the way they prepare it, it's like, why? There was like some chicken and rice thing that was pretty good. I can't remember the name of it. That was pretty good. And also, I guess from that, and then on the way home at like 8, 9 o'clock, we stopped at a Chick-fil-A, and for probably 20, 30 minutes sometime down the road, me and Luco kept farting. And Luco would fart, and we'd hold the button so that they couldn't roll the windows down on us, that they had to, so the smell would go to them. And then After that went away, then I would fart. And we did this for like 20 minutes. And then eventually Tony was like, guys, cut it out. He was putting a blanket over his face so he could breathe. I mean, I was cracking up, crying, laughing, the whole thing. I was having a laughing fit. People thought I was doing drugs. But Tony made us stop at a rest stop and go take a dump. And then even afterwards, I was still farting later and stinking the car out anyway. Yeah, come on. This is a show. We don't need these people causing a ruckus. I know who it is, and we should just all ignore him. Let him be a troll, and we'll just ignore him. Who cares what he says? Who cares? We just ignore him. That's all. Anyway, so back to the bag. This is the bag. I showed you the bag. So what's in the bag? You get a nice Fury325 mouse pad. I love mouse pads because I go through them quite frequently. They gave a sticker. I don't really care for the sticker, so Six Flags New England, if you're doing a sticker, if you're going to make one, at least make it cool. I really don't like this. Oh yeah, and then the cup. I really like the cup. I really do. You know, Fury, Carowinds, grand opening, has all the stats, Feel the Sting, you know, picture of the ride, the whole Fury thing with the bees and stuff like that. So all in all, it's an alright swag bag. Here's my thing that I really wish that they had in the swag bag. I know it's free stuff and I shouldn't be complaining, but a lot of parks do this. And they do. And I don't know what you guys think about this, but how about first rider t-shirts? I know some places have done it. Even New England has done it. I'm big for the first rider t-shirts. I love that. So all in all, it was a decent media day. It wasn't amazing by any means. My breath wasn't taken away. So what I suggest is, like I said, I'm not bashing Carowinds or the ride. It is worth riding. You know, people are like, oh, is it worth it? Is it not? You know what? Don't listen to don't even listen to me. I mean, I'm just giving my opinion. So, you know, I always say don't believe the hype. Only believe the hype if you love the ride. If you don't love the ride and you hear all this hype, you could be disappointed. And I don't want to disappoint anybody. You know, maybe after the ride you go, Josh, you're totally wrong. And Fury is better than what you said it was. And that's fine too. But I want everybody, when they go ride a ride, I know everybody's looking for opinions and POVs and all this other stuff. I want you, before going, yes, it's the best ride in the world, ride it first. Don't, just because I said it was crap, well, it's not crap, it just didn't wow me. But, what do you call it? Form your own opinion. Don't follow people's opinion. You know, it's my job to tell you, you know, where to go, or maybe, you know, give you ideas of where to go. You know, when you're looking for when you're trying to, you know, you have X amount of dollars in vacation time and you're going, where should I go? And then maybe you entrusted me to say, hey, this place is cool, or maybe it's not that good. I don't know. But my whole purpose of this is to try to help people experience new things. Besides go-karts and mirror mazes and haunted houses and Biltmore Estates and PAX East and anything. That's why I try to cover anything cool that in my mind that pops up. I want people to experience things and have fun. You only go around this world once. Don't follow people's opinions. Form your own opinion on a ride or a park or an event. Don't let other people sway your mind. You're your own human being. Use your own thoughts. Write it. Don't listen. Just block it out. Go la 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 la. You know, I'm only here to guide you. I'm here hopefully to go, hey, you know what? Just do it. You know. Just go ride it. Form your own opinion. And you know what? When people ride it, I want to hear what you guys thought of the ride. You know, I want to hear your opinion too, because not only does my opinion matter, your opinion matters. So keep that in mind. All right. Before we get going, let's talk a little bit about CoasterCon. The flyer came out. Let's get a little smidgy into it, because a lot of people have seen the flyer and Some people are going, it's not worth it. Because it is a little bit more pricey. But here's the thing. If the thing I want to know is, hang on, the flyer's over here. I'm pulling up the flyer. What do you call it? I don't know how many of you have been to a Coaster Con. I know quite a few people have. And I know people are trying to find the con to go to. Now, granted, this one's a bit more money than I'm used to paying for a Coaster Con. But still, that shouldn't sway you from going or not. I mean, the money might be a swaying factor. But I'm going to pull, I got the flyer pulling up right now. And I'll just run down a few things in cost. Because it's one of those things that I'm going to con, I'm taking Jeremy to con. He's pumped and excited. I can't just not take him. So basically there's 18 coasters between all of the con events. 19 hours of exclusive ride time. So not only are you going to get Great Escape, you're going to get Storybook Land, and you're going to get Maury's Pier. Now, I love Maury's Pier. Now, listen to these prices. This is ridiculous. If you're just an Ace member and have no Six Flags Pass, it's going to cost you $339. If you have a Seasons Pass to Six Flags, it will cost you $264 if you're an Ace member. And then prices go down, you know, for ages, or non-members go up. But for those that do not have a season pass, will get one. So you're saving $75 with the season pass. So you're going to get all these parks and all that. Now, Batman the Ride, just so you know, at Great Adventure will not be open for cons. So Jeremy will not be able to get Batman the Ride, unfortunately. But I get everything else. I'll have to take him another time to get Batman the Ride. So, but I'm scrolling down here. Now, just to give you an idea of how jam-packed Coaster Con is, and there's still things that are not announced. So, people are kind of freaking out going, oh my God, it's not worth it, blah, blah, blah. All right, Sunday, June 21st is when con starts. So, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., the general store is open at the Holiday Inn. Registration is from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., yeah, then there's dinner. It says, welcome at the Garden of Eaton Catering Groves. The time is to be announced. And then evening ERT is going to be El Toro, King Ka, Zumanjaro, El Diablo, and Tango. And that's your Sunday night. Now, Monday, from 8:45 to 9:45 is registration at the park front gates, Outer Mall. Morning ERT is Nitro, Skull Mountain, the Dark Knight Coaster, Roadrunner Railway, and Sky Screamer. Cable Skyway for round trip photo ops. And then you're going to get a continental breakfast, location and time to be announced. Ice cream and breakfast fundraiser for Give the Kids the World. 10:30 a.m. First in line privileges for Safari Off-Road Adventure. You know, lunch is a Mexican fiesta. The Ace General Store and photo contest is going to be held in the Showcase Theater. Evening ERT is going to include El Toro, Bizarro, Runaway Train, Sawmill Log Flume. So that's your Monday. Tuesday is going to be morning ERT on King Ka, Green Lantern, Superman, Zumanjaro, Parachutes, Carousel, and Houdini's Great Escape. Then you're going to have a continental breakfast. And then they're going to have the Midway Olympics, and then first in line privileges for Safari Off-Road Adventure. Dinner's going to be an Italian feast. Evening ERT will be Nitro, Skull Mountain, Blackbeard's Lost Treasure Train, El Toro, Bizarro, Runaway Train, Cable Skyway. And then that's the end of your Great Adventure portion. Wednesday is Santa Bookland opens 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Maury's Pier opens at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. for Adventure Pier. The morning, travel to Storybook Land approximately 100 minutes from East Windsor Hotels. Arrive at your leisure. 2 p.m. is a welcome at Picnic Pavilion. Afternoon, travel to Wildwood approximately 50 minutes from Storybook Land. 6 to 9 p.m. Dinner and beach party at Maury's Pier's Rendezvous Beach Pavilion. It's going to be Jersey Shore clam bake, variety of meat and seafood entrees, fresh veggie and Curly's fries and dessert and beach games and stuff. Then there's midnight to 2 a.m. There's going to be ERT on Sea Serpent, Raleigh's Coaster, Ghost Ship, Wave Swinger, Maelstrom, Riptide, Moby Dick, Super Scooters, and Music Express, and teacups and snacks. And then Thursday, you're going to have Maury's again, breakfast on the Sky Giant Wheel. You have to register at a certain point. Then a continental breakfast at Joe's Fish, ERT at Surfside Pier, Great Nor'easter, Doo Wop, Flitzer, Zoom Flume. I love Zoom Flume. That's so awesome. Atmosphere, Dante's Dungeon, Cygnus X1, Kong, Sky Coaster, Carousel. And then there's going to be an afternoon schedule that's going to include backstage tours, presentations, games, group photo, other activities to be finalized and announced. 5 to 6:30 cocktail hour at Wildwood's Convention Center. 6:30 to 10 banquet at Wildwood's Convention Center. That's an extra add-on thing. But then you're going to get ERT after that at 2 a.m. ERT on Adventure Pier, The Great White, Scream and Swing, Boat Tag, and there's entertainment at Art Box, including live art, DJ, and dancing and beverages. And then Friday is the last day of con, continental breakfast, ERT on the Marina's Landing. I already said, and then from 1 to 3 you get ERT at the Great White, Sky Coast, and Scream and Swing, blah 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 blah. They have 2 different styles of shirts, and I forgot. I think the banquet's like $41 or something, $43, or for a child you can get $17. So for all that, that's what you're going to get for that money. Now, there's things that are not announced. So keep that in mind. There are things that are not announced. So, just saying. There are things that are not announced. So, I'm going. I'm taking Jeremy. I'm going. So, keep that with a grain of salt. I'm just going to run down a few dates, and then we'll skedaddle. And then we'll talk about somewhat of next week's show, because there is a show next week, so don't worry about that. Anyway, so here are the upcoming dates. I am not going to go through all the flyers. We'll do that next week. Anyway, so on April 18th, Jeepers It's Spring at Six Flags America. There is now an event at Knoebels on April 25th, the Year of the Steel at Knoebels. May 2nd, Wind Warrior Day. May 16th through 17th, Coaster Stock at Kings Island. May 28th, Coaster Camp Out at Cedar Point. June 5th, Coaster Mania at Cedar Point. June 6th is Ace Dives at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Then on June 7th, Coasting for Kids, that they do every year. It goes for a good cause. It's being done at all the Cedar Fair parks. You can go to the Coasting for Kids. You can check that out. And then you can register for a team. You can join the Ace team or whatever team and get donations. And you get basically ERT for X amount of hours. You're going to sit on the coaster and ride for a great cause for children. So look at a park that you want to go to, and then you go do it. So June 19th, Ace Day at Hershey Park. That's pre-con. June 20th, Ace Day at Dorney. June 20th, pre-con at Clementon. June 21st to the 26th is CoasterCon. June 27th, Seaside Screams. And June 28th, Luna Park Fest 5. And I've said this before, and I'm going to keep telling you again. Everybody likes to go to Coney. Check out Luna Park. They have some great rides. But it's very expensive. And it's like $55, $60 gets you everything, which would really cost you probably about $200-$300 a person for the amount that you get for $55. Well, it's probably a little less than $200-$300, but it's well over $100 value for $55. So for half off or more, it's worth it, because then you don't have to mortgage your house and sell your kids and take blood out to afford to go. So if you're looking to go to Coney and enjoy it, that's the way to do it. Let me tell you, because other than that, you will not. And let me tell you, you will not find a better deal than this. So that's why I'm going to that. I want to check it out and do it. Yeah, I know. There's 2 awesome con shirts There's the Monopoly one, and then there's the Sunglass one. I think I'm only going to buy one. I'm not going to buy both. I got to save my money for Disney. I got to stop spending money. So yeah, it's one of those things. You know, it's like I said, con is not cheap. But think about this for a moment. Now look at what Larry put: $528 just to go. Right? Just for admission. But where else are you going to go to get all of that stuff in a week for $528? If you didn't have any season, just say you don't have any season passes and you're going on this trip, you cannot go anywhere for $264. Even with season passes, to get all that food, all that extra stuff, you will not be able to get that anywhere else. That's still not a bad deal. You cannot find a better deal. I dare you to find one. To get that amount of food in the park on your own, plus admissions, and exclusive ride time added to you. Because exclusive ride time costs money. It's not free. That costs extra money. So, I dare you to show me how you can get a better deal anywhere for a week long in all these parks with no season pass. Which I don't think you'll be able to find it. But I would love for you to show me how it can be done. With that exact itinerary, the exact call, I want to see you try. Being a GP, not a coaster enthusiast, I guarantee you can't do it. Yeah, you're gonna add fun, but I don't know if Larry and Tina are doing any pre and after con events, because I am not. The only place that I am buying souvenirs at, maybe, is going to be Storybook Land, Maurice Pier, and Clementon. I'm not buying anything in Hershey. I might buy a Christmas ornament at Hershey. And then for the year I went. I'm not buying anything at Great Adventure. But I'm not going to go crazy. So you need a lot of money to do a lot of this stuff. But if you're doing just con, and that's fine too. You don't have to do pre-con. It's okay to do just con. But you're going to need the dough. It's worth it in the end. And it's always good when you can split the costs with gas and hotel rooms. That's always a good thing too. You know, if you can find people to shack up and save, you know, that's always a good thing. Anyway, so I will have something extra special for you guys next week. Something special. Keeping it a secret for now. But we will discuss whatever pops up for next week. So we'll be back Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host, Dr. Giggles. And until next weekend, keep on coasting! Peace out!